The Horror of the Zombie Apocalypse, Chapter 1. I'm going to do an executive summary.
Lovely.
There's the baby, the zombie baby, the zombies, the shotgun, Mark. That's not secret, I just kept using the wrong colour. He's not a zombie man. The baby gets bitten by the zombie. Mark is upset. Of course, it's his baby. The baby is now a zombie. Laura, she wants the brains. Bad times. Failed first test. Another test. She tried to eat the mannequin in a tree. She failed that test. The third test. She tried to eat her own father in the cage from his theatre days. Failed the test. She's put in the cage by her father from his theatre days, talks to the zombie catcher. The zombie catcher is also bad. He throws them all into the volcano off his pickup truck, his single tear, which evaporates. And then, an old man tries to eat him, who is also pushed in. Mao turns up with his cool hair. Why are you so mean to me? Mao is thrown into the zombie pit. Another Mao, the clone, appears. Mark is smiling, but probably shouldn't be. Probably sad at this. And then shoots the helicopter down, lands in the pool on his secret island. End of chapter 1.
That's great. That was a great recap.
That was, first chapter.
For context of story, one quick clarification. The clone was the one that died in the zombie pit. The real Mao was still alive. He was the
real Mao still alive.
Yeah, because that's gonna... The more that opens up a little bit more on the whole clone thing. So just for clarification. Yeah, I did a little bit this last chapter, but I noticed when you were still drawing, I started improv a little bit. So the whole the volcanic rock third time's a charm sequence, that was all improv.
Yeah, to slow things down.
I think I'm gonna do a little bit, just add some filler bit, just to help you keep.
Sure. Thank you.
Can you make sure to add some filler about the theatre days?
The theatre days.
I will. I was trying to think of something because when you said third time's a charm, I was gonna say third time's the charm and scene. That was
more of that flavor. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think my wrist has recovered. I think I'm ready for chapter 2.
Okay, cool. You guys ready? Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right, chapter 2. Mark's clone problem. After Mao's surprise attack, Mark realized that he never truly got a chance to mourn those that he lost. Along the way home, he realized that the old man zombie that had attacked him on the volcano was actually his grandpa, who had been infected and turned into a zombie. When Mark got home, he got to work making a couple of tombstones. He etched away on the stone tombstones each and every single one of his family members' names, those that he had lost, that is. When he was finally finished, he set them all up in his backyard, dug little graves. Not that there was anything really in them. He did put a little momentum from each of his family in there, so that there was something in the grave. But he made a grave for his grandparents, his great grandpa, his wife, Lori, his own daughter, and his very own parents, all those that he had lost. Mark spent most of the day mourning, since the days were dark now due to the zombie apocalypse. Mark has been heavily relying on his digital clock to help him keep the time.
I love that. Wait, no, the clock. Major player. Let me draw it.
It was hanging in his living room. The window. He was able to look through and take a look at the time. As dark as the sky was, it was only 3 p.m. It wasn't even that late at all. The sky had darkened due to the evilness of the zombie apocalypse had consumed the world in more than one way. He wonders, how long will this last? Will he find a cure? There's so much that he doesn't know, but he started to think, wow, this reminds him a lot of the British winters.
Hey, I know that's Ian would never say that.
OG said that, so I thought I'd add it. He would. He might. He's been obsessed with the tundra and whatnot. But anyways, that aside.
The British tundra.
He said, "Wow, it's like being in the British tundra."
Yeah, I'm doing it on a mouse. Yeah.
We call that the North. Unbeknownst to Mark, Mal sensed the Midlands. Mal sensed that Mark would create some sort of gravesite, and still being upset that his plan failed, Mal set out to go to Mark's house and seek vengeance. Once Mal arrived to Mark's house, his prediction was right. Mark had set up a gravesite for his and Mal's family. Mal, seeing that his stepbrother was inside his house, crying over his sink, Mal decided that he was going to just destroy the gravesite. So he started smashing all the gravestones, one by one, until he found the one gravestone that read, Billy Banjo. Mal never realized his father's last name. He'd always been very distant with his family. He always thought that Mark was his stepbrother, but it turns out he was wrong. They were actually half-brothers. He decided not to smash his father's gravesite after all. Deep down, inside Mao's twisted dark heart, he was sad that his father had died, and he will never show that side to Mark. As soon as Mao finished smashing the gravesite, Mark approached the front door. Knowing he was about to be spotted, Mao ran across the street over to Mark's friend's house. He hid inside the house to avoid being spotted, but soon realized that his friend was a zombie all along.
Hang on, whose friend is a zombie?
So this is Mark's best friend, who actually lives across the street from him.
Okay.
So
Thank
Mao
you.
ran to his house, yes. Mao always kept one of his those zombie-resistant potions that he stole from the scientists who had helped him all those years ago create the zombie apocalypse. He drank it, and he was safe from the zombie. Mao grabs him by his shirt collar and drags the zombie out into the front yard. And then he picks him up, and with all his might, he throws him all the way across the street onto Mark's lawn. Mark had got scared and drank a zombie-resistant potion after seeing the zombie being thrown at him. Look away! Mao shouts. As Mark shields his eyes, Mao uses the only cure in existence to cure the zombie of the infection. You can look now, Mao says. Mark sees his old friend, who is now human again, and Mark is overjoyed. However, Mao takes out a revolver and aims it at Mark's friends. Mark, his heart filled with sorrow, realizes that Mao will do nothing that Mao will stop at nothing to make sure Mark lives a miserable life. Mao pulls the trigger and kills Mark's friend, who just got turned into a human. Mao, he headed home after he feels that he had got his vengeance on his brother. On his way home, he reflected on the fact that his father was now dead, and Mao secretly knew that his sorrow was going to hold him back on his main mission, which was now to kill his brother Mark. Mao got home, and he parked his new private plane in his private hangar. He walked through the different corridors of his giant secret estate base, and eventually headed into the main room of his estate. And instead of relaxing and enjoying the many different things in his mansion, such as his 100-inch television, all of his favorite food in his fridge, or his gaming PC, he headed straight for bed. We all do love a gaming PC with the RGB lights, the overhead mic.
Tell me about it. Tell me all about this PC.
He's got the 3090. He just got it. He actually has the 4090. He sold the 3090.
Oh,
he had the 4090 developed just for him.
Why didn't he want the other one?
It wasn't strong enough so he could play Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, Flight Simulator, because he crashes all the time, so he needs practice, right?
He does need practice, so he and that's how he's able to...
Can't color in this stupid fridge! There we go. There we go. We colour in his sofa. He's got an orange sofa.
Oh, what's up, Fluffy?
Okay, so he's gone to bed, sorry.
Yes, so he's gone to bed. Mal spent the next week of his life completely in despair. Normally, he spends his time in his lab crafting up different ideas on how to ruin his brother's life, but not this time.
This looks like the set from 2001 Space Odyssey. Did you know that bit?
That's what this is turning into. You spoiled it.
Sorry, I do apologize.
Imagine. His sorrow was just too much for him to handle. Mal thought about it long and hard, and he had an idea, but he wasn't sure if it would work. Having inspiration, suddenly, he set out to work. Mal's plan was simply crazy enough to work. Normally, when Mal clones himself, the machine makes an exact copy of himself, DNA and all. However, if he builds this clone from scratch, he can actually edit the genetic material and allow the clone to not possess all the sad emotions Mao had come to feel. However, the only way to birth life into this artificial clone is if he himself sacrificed his own life force and transported it into the clone. Mao created the clone after slaving in his lab for days, but he wasn't sure if he wanted to go through with it or not. He meditated on it, and he knew what he needed to do, but he didn't know if he had the strength to do it. He decided it was the only way. Mao fired up his cloning machine for the last time and climbed into the chamber. By the simple switch of a lever inside the chamber itself, the machine would fire to life and convert Mao's life force into his clone. Mao would be, in a sense, alive still within the clone's body, but Mao would never be the same again. After all, the genetic material would be rewritten. I'd rather be sitting around sleeping with a bunch of zombie penguins than ever liking Mark. Mao uttered.
Wait, hang on. Zombie penguins? Do I have to draw these? Is he thinking about them? Are they there?
The penguins will come in next chapter.
Okay.
She's expecting that.
Okay.
After a moment of hesitation, Mao flipped the switch. The machine roared to life as it powered on. It was painful. And just as Mao thought he couldn't take it any longer, all his pain washed away. Mao's vision went black. When Mao awoke, he realized he was in a cracked chamber in his lab. The power had gone out completely. And with the lab in ruins, the machine that was so powerful, it actually sucked up every volt of energy on the island. Mao was now a clone. But first, before he can do anything, he needs rest. And that concludes chapter 2.
Okay. Let me just make all this rubbish before I show Seth what we have made to accompany his beautiful music.
Oh my god.
Hang on. We need new Mao. We need new Mao.
Meow.
So basically, the way how chapter 2 ends is Mao is now, in a sense, the same, but he's technically a clone. But he can't possess those negative emotions, all the sadness and despair that were holding him back from accomplishing his true mission. So now he, in a sense, is unstoppable because the only thing that was holding him back doesn't exist anymore.
C for clone.
C for clone.
So yeah, he's got a scar on his. He got this scar through the process of becoming the clone, and he wears a C because he loves clones so much because he is one. Okay, right. Whew. Wow. Thank you, Zombie.